Okay, finally have a pretty good night out. It's finally not raining after work. I can kind of work on the cars. I just did an oil change on old Red here. Driven it pretty far, so I figured it was time for an oil change. So now I'm doing some drift prep on this thing. The drift day is in 2 weeks. I got 2 weekends to prepare. Well, it's on Sunday of the second weekend. A couple things I need to do is the brake master is empty and pretty dirty looking. I got a couple other ones there. I'm probably gonna swap that out and check all the brake lines and stuff. I'll go to my storage locker tomorrow after work and grab some extra brake lines off some of the extra subframes I have kicking around in storage. But yeah, another thing I need to do is the intermediate shaft for the steering is a couple notches out because we took it off when we did the clutch, so I'm gonna see about that. And then the just a couple other little things. I'm hoping to drive it a little bit, so hopefully at least the brake fluid stops leaking for the weekend. But other than that, I think she'll be good to go. I'm going to give her an oil change as well before the event, and hopefully I can find somebody to drive Red, and then I can have both cars out at the event full of parts and tools in case anything happens. Yeah, should be good to go after that. Okay, well, I'm at my storage. I'm just pulling some brake lines and calipers off of this subframe. I got one side off. I just got one more side to do. I got a ton of parts in here, a couple diffs and axles and a whole bunch of extra stuff. Full set of Red interior for the 2+2. It's a little bit of a mess, but most of the stuff has got to get organized. Some of it's got to go to a buddy, but yeah, just pulling brake stuff off for the drift car because, as I said, the brakes are leaking. I'm not sure what it is, so I'm just trying to cover my bases. Looks like I got my parts off just in time. It's hailing pretty bad. So I took the front brakes off too, just in case I need them. I don't know if these will fit. These are from the SF. They're supposed to be smaller, but they may work, they may not. Hopefully they do, if I need them. I just love going to my storage locker. I get to see cool stuff like this. And tons of other stuff. My favorite thing that he has in here is this Datsun Z. Dodge Viper green. It is so beautiful. But he has a ton of stuff in here and it's all wicked. So it's Saturday, I'm at work trying to get some extra hours, pay for my projects. I was just cutting stair stringers and treads. I work in construction, build houses. Carpenter framer is my job title. I've been doing it for a few years. I really like it, so we're almost done. The truss is up there, we're almost going to sheet them. Probably be done this house on Wednesday. I also came here to build myself some jack stands because I missed a few hours last week. I can't afford to buy some nice metal ones, so these should hold up my my Project Z that has no engine. They should hold it fine. I just need to use the metal jack stand so I can work on the drift car, get it drift ready, fix the brakes and stuff. I also use the stair cutoffs to build some wheel chocks. I got 4 of those and some tops for my jack stands so that it doesn't go into my frame rail because the old Z's are rusty and it's nice to have blocks of wood everywhere. So I built 2 at 1 foot high and 2 at 1'6". If I can't get it up to the 1'6" height, then I can just use the 1-footers. Just a few tools to cut the stairs and stuff, and I just used some junk lumber we had laying around. So yeah, I'm gonna go home now and hopefully fix the brakes on the drift car. Well, all my jack stands were in use. so I couldn't quite afford a new set yet, so I made some temporary ones. This car has no engine, so it's pretty light. They seem to work pretty well. I'll be able to fit these in the car when I go to the drift day and have jack stands in case I need to work on it. And then I need to do the brake stuff now, so I need the jack stands to work on the car now anyways. So yeah, stoked on how they worked out. Sweet. Okay, I've done some testing. I think it's the master. There's a little bit of fluid down there. It's kind of hard to tell. It's not leaking a whole lot now, but I want to say that it's the master. I have a pretty new master here ready to go in. Hopefully it works out for me. Okay, old one's out. It wasn't too bad to get out. New one's all cleaned up, ready to go in. I just got to clean up the area and clean up the fittings, and should be good to go to install the new one. Touch up this area a little bit with some 415. Hopefully it turns out pretty good. Okay, I got the second coat on there. Gonna hit it with the heat gun. I hit it first to warm it up, and then spray the paint and use the heat gun to dry it, and do the second coat. And I'm gonna use the heat gun again. It's pretty cold and moist outside, so it's nice to get it nice and warm and a good temperature so the paint adheres nice. So I got the new master in. It started raining and was pretty windy last night, so I waited until today to put it back in and let the paint dry a little bit. It looks much better than what was there before. I just got to bleed it now and then hopefully check everything, make sure nothing's leaking, and should be good to go and go for some test drives. Okay, so I decided while I was in there to change brake pads and rotors. There's still lots of pad left, but I ordered some ceramic brake pads and some rotors. Unfortunately, they sent me the wrong rotors. They sent me the vented ones, and this car currently has just the solid rotor. So I put the new pads on, the new ceramic ones. I'll probably take the calipers off of the Kooky over there and put it on this. This has Kooky control arms, so I kind of have the Zenki brakes modified on there to work with the single rotor. So maybe I'll put the Kooky brakes on there with the new rotors, and then when my hydro gets in, it will have lots of stopping power, and then I can put on a dual caliper setup a little easier with the slotted rotors. So yeah, I got the pads done. I got the sliders all lubed up. Still haven't bled the system yet, but I'm gonna go do the other side, and then I'll be able to bleed the rear and then jack the front up and bleed the front. Okay, I got the brakes bled, just need to put the tires on, move this car out of the way, and then go take it for a test drive after I drop it down. Okay, I got her out for a little test drive. Seems like it was just a brake master that was the problem the whole time, so that's good. She has brakes now, so brake fluid's staying in there, so excited to take it out for a longer test drive and go do some skids. Okay, well I took the drift car out to test it. What better way than to come to Five Guys Burgers and Fries, grab some burgers and fries. It's doing pretty good. This place is around 35k away from my house, so it's a good little road trip to test it out. Pretty stoked on how she's working out. Probably going to drive it to work tomorrow, and then see how it goes from there. Okay, so I've decided on placement for the fire extinguisher. I can reach it really good from my seat, and the passenger can reach it as well. Even with my helmet on, I can still see where the latch is. I don't know how strong this metal is. that's here, so I'm going to fab up a little plate that's going to be a little stronger than what's here, and hopefully it won't rip out if I'm sliding around. So it's right in the kind of center line, or just behind center line, so it shouldn't have too many G-forces from whipping around, but I could reach it nice and it's out of the way, so I'm gonna work on that. Yeah, I got this pretty thick piece of metal here. I'm gonna cut her down and drill some holes so that I can mount this. Okay, so I got those drilled out. It's pretty good. I was gonna use these sheet metal screws, but I think I might use these self-tappers. I don't know. Maybe I'll use a couple of each, so I have some fine thread and some coarse thread. And if it starts to pull out, then they pull out at different intervals. So maybe we'll see how that goes. Okay, she is installed. She'll unclip, lift up with one hand. Pretty solid. Okay, so I decided to modify the bracket a little bit, so it wasn't such a sharp edge sticking out on that one side, and decided to paint it. So I got the heat gun out and it's hanging there. First coat of primer is on. The paint I'm using, I got it over here in the sun a little bit, but I'm using this Metal Craft primer. It kind of makes it kind of shiny underneath, and it's reflective, as it says here. And then I just got a gloss black engine enamel, just an open can I have kicking around, and then these two color effects, they make it sparkly and change color. I'll show you guys what that's like. But the black one is kind of just like for black colors, it just makes it black and makes it sparkly, and then this makes it even more sparkly on top of that. And then I got some clear coat to help protect it a little bit. So once I'm all done painting, then I'll show you guys what that's like. Well, she's all painted up. You can definitely see the sparkle in her. I did put a little bit of gold flake in it and some blue. Hopefully it brought out a bit more color, but this is the bracket for my fire. And it's mounted. Oh boy. I can't even see the mount, but she's in. Good to go. Okay, so it's the day before the drift event. We've got a couple things to do, like change the oil, fix the immediate shaft, torque the rear spacers, change those front aluminum lugs to steel lugs. I don't really like those. And then just collect all my parts, pack up the tires, get everything ready to go. I think I found somebody to drive Old Red here to the event. So yeah, just got a few hours of work here, and then I can start loading up the cars. Okay, so the oil's changed, and as I'm doing this, I kind of noticed a little gouge on this tire. I'm guessing it's hitting the fender, so I got the baseball bat out, the heat gun, and the jack. I'm gonna jack it up a little bit, get the bat in there, roll it a bit. After it's heated up, you heat it up so it's not too hot to the touch. Once it's too hot to the touch, then the paint will start to bubble, so I'm gonna heat it up a bit. Hopefully it doesn't crack too much. It is old and probably a little rusty. This is probably where it's grabbing on right here. So I'm just gonna give it a little roll, just give myself a little more clearance. So okay, so I got a new shift knob in there. I got the steering wheel straight. I haven't taken it for a test drive yet, but I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be better than it was, at least. Oil's changed, transmission fluid's topped up. It was a little bit low. The only thing I have left to do is torque the spacers and check the diff fluid. I'm gonna grab some food and do that after food. It might be dark, but at least I'm getting it done. I got the steel lugs on the wheels. They don't look as good as the gold. I think I'm gonna have to order some gold steel ones. I didn't like the aluminum. They were starting to strip. I've only taken them off a couple times. I've been told that they're pretty bad for drift cars that, you know, take their wheels on and off over and over again. So it's getting there. Just got to load up the cars after that, and I should be good to go. Okay, well, that's it. I got them both loaded up. I think I got everything. I got all my camera stuff together. I got a GoPro mounted in there now. So that's it. That's the end of the drift prep. Both cars are loaded up. My buddy is coming in the morning to come drive this one. I'm going to drive the drift car out to Mission. It's just over an hour away from me, so hopefully I make it there and last the day. If not, then I got BCAA, I can call them, tow me home. But yeah, pretty stoked on how everything turned out, even though everything didn't go to plan, or did, I don't know. But that's racing. So drift prep is over.